Every American grows up learning about the Revolution, that time in history where the original 13 colonies gained independence from Great Britain. Alongside this is taught the birthday of the United States, July 4th, 1776 AD. This is when the Declaration of Independence was ratified by the Continental Congress, with 56 men, from Boston to Savannah, signing this document of rebellion, announcing to the world that they and the people of the American colonies were no more subjects of His Majesty King George III, but rather independent peoples of the 13th sovereign United States of America. A good chunk of the Declaration is historical, with the writer Thomas Jefferson detailing the colonialist grievances towards King George III and the British Parliament. Scattered about, however, are more idealistic phrases that change this from just a political document into something akin to a philosophical manifesto. There is one quote that sticks out to me personally. We hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All men are created equal. I believe these five words to be the fatal flaw, the crack in America's ideals and dreams. It goes against what has been true and observable since time began, when the first sons of Adam walked the earth. This is only proven true time and time again in modern studies on genetics, psychology, and other respectable fields of scientific investigation. This often repeated saying has its appeals, especially to those who are oppressed by tyrants and treated less than human, to idealists who have grandiose dreams of a more just and orderly civilization, and to certain philosophers who wish to see mankind itself evolve into something higher. One must ask, however, that, even in the face of real injustices and cruelties, must the truth be dropped to give those wounded people a falsehood to believe? This delusional lie will make men disconnected from reality, going about in their own lives, believing in something that both everyday observations and rigorous study proves to be mere fantasy. If given enough time and space, entire peoples, nations, the world even may adhere to this lie as religious dogma. It will encourage the bold and daring to try and revolt against natural law, while those more complacent and weak willed will drown themselves in envy and hatred towards others they perceive to be oppressors and crooks. The sciences, law, arts, political bodies, and even religious sects will be utilized to try and craft a society where this principle can operate in action, no matter the blood and suffering that will be needed to achieve this, if it is even possible to create an egalitarian utopia. To kill the kulaks, murder holy men and women, construct monstrous buildings, craft demonic art, and lie to the masses from cradle to grave are but minor actions that these twisted idealists will do to accomplish an impossible mandate. This line is the genesis of our collective hysteria, sorrow, and blindness. If Americans wish to escape the current crises we are currently in, this never ending horror we call modernity or liberalism, and all the rot that pours from its putrid swamps, this line must be condemned as what it is, an erroneous lie. This mantra must be damned and spat on by the average American. For man to be truly free, as the founding fathers may have wished, he must cooperate with reality, not against it. If not, it would lead to unimaginable suffering and bondage to the worst of deceptions. As I grow older and have learned more about the history of my home country, alongside the ancient and eternal religion of the one true God, I find myself losing the starry eyed view many Americans have on the land of the free, and I've picked up a more cynical attitude towards anything American, especially politics and philosophy. At times, it has led me to delve into irrational hatred towards the USA and anything associated with it, even thinking myself damned to eternal hellfire with everyone that has dared to live here. The USA, however, is like all other nations and states to have and will ever exist, neither wholly demonic nor entirely just. Daniel, the great prophet, lived in pagan Babylon and even worked for the king there, while maintaining his fidelity and faith to the God of Israel. Intellectually, I have taken a more calm and realistic viewpoint of America in this paper which animates her starry eyed ideals. Unconsciously, anger towards the falsehoods and errors remain, ever present to drive me into a rage against the nation that I live in and owe my love to, as commanded by Jesus Christ in the fourth commandment of Mosaic law. This is all a sort of unofficial video on my thoughts of America and how the current problems are in part the ultimate conclusion, the final resting place of ideas put into writing on that fateful day in 1776.